have always been fascinated by huge American cities, simply because they are so much larger than life in every respect. They are gateways into wonderful imaginary worlds. Artists look at New York and it becomes Metropolis or Gotham City, unique, real, and fantastic at the same time. A place for superheroes. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. These heroes are all urban, extravagant, different. They crystallize our fears and our ideals. Over roughly half a century, these strange creatures have apparently watched over America, but their adventures have attracted a following among people around the world who see themselves in the values and dreams these heroes personify.
I think the difference between a hero and a superhero is obviously in the word super. So I think there's a huge element of wish fulfillment, of a kind of a magical or dreamlike aspect to superheroes. You know, what would we do if we could move mountains? What would we do if we could fly? You know, things that relate to the kind of fantasies that I guess people have had for a long time, you know, maybe even related to, you know, the way the Greeks and earlier civilizations would talk about the gods, you know, people who had human form but were in every way, you know, superior to human beings.
Is there no one on this planet to even challenge me?
Superman!
General, would you care to step outside?
Superheroes are like a new modern mythology that extends to encapsulate all forms of fiction, including mystery, science fiction, magic, myth. All those things are put together in superheroes, and that's one of its greatest features as far as the thing to draw people into them, and the fact that they're all still, with all those elements, placed in our modern urban world, where we're to assume that the president in Superman's world is still the same president we have in this world, and the same television shows run, the same popular music acts, all the same things are coexisting. So we actually can find very much a commonality with the character, so that when that character slips into its second life, its his alter ego, or for whatever they do, they are in our world.
The big one's just as strong as Superman.
If you've only seen the first part, you haven't seen the best part.
The history of these superheroes is closely linked to one particular medium, the American comic book. Since their first appearance in the late 30s, these flimsy-colored magazines have provided the stage for the hero's adventures and have adapted to fit all the various phases as the genre developed. Each character is a print star linked to a specific publisher, just as a screen star used to be under contract with a specific major studio in Hollywood's golden age. The most powerful firms remain the renowned DC Comics and Marvel Comics, but each publisher has its own personality and its own heroes.
That's all part of the language of comics. You read a comic and you see this guy jump out with a cape in a red and blue outfit, and it's a suspension of belief. You just assume, well, that's part of the superhero universe. That's normal. You know, it's very funny when you actually see, you know, if you go to a comic convention and you see someone actually dressed that way, how that suspension of disbelief just sort of gets wiped away very quickly, and like, boy, people really look silly that way. But it shows you the strength of the belief of the reader to actually suspend that and say, it's okay. This is a normal place. People walk around with capes all the time. It's perfectly fine. But again, it's like that in any place. I mean, in all the greatest fantasy work.
In a Superman story, nobody thinks twice about the fact that he's got this cape and that it's always blowing behind him, even if he's sitting in a room. It's part of the world, and so they accept it because, as a Broadway director once said, they want to love you. They want, people, the readers, want to enjoy this.
It's like a cipher. It's you know when you see the bad guy, his face is covered. When you see the good guy, he's got the jaw, you know, the teeth and you know, the hair. So it's all codes, and it's all things that you can instantly pick up visually without having to read. You can say, that's the good guy, that's the bad guy.
Shazam!
Most Europeans that I talk to say, oh, these American comic books with their funny costumes, crashing through walls, are stupid. What I do try to do is I say, okay, fine, they're silly, but let's just say, for a minute, that it's happening. It's silly, but let's just say, and let's play. Let's play the game like a dream, like a fantasy. That's what these superheroes appeal to. They appeal to the child in you that's looking for the hero. And if he's wearing a costume, it just makes him different from everybody else. And if he's got muscles, you want to have muscles. And if the girl has breasts and she's got a great figure, you want that, you like that, you appreciate that. And if you don't say you do, then you're lying. I'm sorry. You dig it, okay? That's what it appeals to. If you want a serious story, you do it a different way. There's room for everything. There's room for everything. For me, comic books are the exercise of that side of my personality that likes the fantasy.
Why do people like superheroes? I think if you're young and you like superheroes, it's because I cannot strongly emphasize enough the element of comfort, oddly enough, of safety, to know that, I mean, Superman, to me as a kid, there was an element of him almost being real. I mean, more real than Santa Claus in some respects, because of what he stood for, and there was a sense of, you know, it's very American or something, but it's also like a parental thing, you know, for a child who really, you know, grew up in a house where, you know, the father was out drinking and, you know, didn't have so much. It's like to know that there was a stable, you know, guy who would take care of matters, you know, which is, again, one of the reasons I got into comics in the first place, was to create a world on paper that I had some control over.